What's up, YouTube? It's Darth Joker 88 here, doing my Spider-Man review. So the way I'm gonna break this up is I'm gonna talk story first, but not spoilers. I'm gonna break it into like 5 sections. I'm gonna talk I'm gonna talk story without spoilers. Then I'm going to talk, like what I thought about the story and everything, and then I'm gonna talk about like nuances that they've added to the game that I enjoyed, things that I kind of wish like would have been brought back or just slightly changed, and then I'll talk about what I think about the suits, and then we'll go into spoilers and like my ultimate review. So first off, was it worth the 5-year wait? In my opinion, yes, absolutely. This is a game that I played a month after the original game. I played a month after launch. I didn't play Miles Morales on launch. I wanted to get a PS5 for when I got to play his game. But so for me, the 5-year hype was really good. Some people have complained, oh, it was too short. I don't like it because it was too short or whatever. And I can understand. For me, for what it was, I liked the pacing. Or I shouldn't say I liked the story. My only issues, there was a few times with pacing I had the issue with. Again, I'm not going to go totally into that in the non-spoilers part of this. The one thing I will say is, I think that a lot of the characters got really good arcs in this one. I liked what they did with Peter's arc. A lot of the things in this game, a lot of people complain that it's kind of more Peter's game than Miles, and I agree, but I also disagree. I agree that Peter has more quantity than Miles, but Miles has more quality. I shouldn't say, like, because I still really enjoyed what they did with Peter in this game. With the Miles moments that Miles has are definitely more, quality. I really enjoyed a lot of the stuff with Miles. I will say they really made it enjoyable to play as both of them. I don't think there was very many moments where I was like, because I think they really have nailed these two characters down. They did really good with Harry in this game. He showed that, like, considering he's a character that, like, we didn't get, like, we only got, like, a brief explanation of, where he was in the last game. I'm very happy with how they did with him. There was still a few Mary Jane missions that I didn't really like, but for the most part, I really enjoyed her story in this one. Because, last game I kind of felt like she was just a glorified, like, girl in the chair for Peter. Like, she had, like, a few, like, missions here and there. But not in this game. I really liked what they did with her. It really felt like she mattered in the story to me. Because in the last game, it really, like, at times it just was like Peter would like discover something, would tell her, hey, like look this up for me, and then like she'd be like, oh, okay, and then she'd like go to like the location of wherever they were, and then Peter would be like, bruh, like. But in this one, her missions, first off, I like that they did really good with how she did these missions. Like I felt like she was an integral part of the story, and I really enjoyed some of the stuff that she was a part of in this game. You know, there's a part where there was a twist at one point of the story that I really liked with her, where I was like, wasn't expecting it, and I was like, ooh, really interesting. I don't really count Genki as a character so much in this, because he really, like, my comparison of Mary Jane and the girl in the chair for Peter is essentially what Genki is. He does it for both. He does it for both Spider-Man. Like you'll be doing something and he'll be like, oh, this is blah blah blah, and then like 2 seconds later, right after you do whatever, like I'll be attacking an enemy base and he'll be like, oh, this is the communication line, this, you gotta do this, and then 2 seconds later, like, you attack the communication line. He's like, that did it, blah, 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 and it's like, so it's really, like, he really is just there to kind of, give the player, like, someone to, like, listen to. I really liked Miles' like centric characters in this game. I really liked his mom's story. You know, in the last game, she kind of was just learning that he was Spider-Man and was like kind of like, I'm not sure I want to know. And then there's times where in this game she's kind of like joking with him that like, hey, I want to go out there too and help you, like. And then, but that's all I'm going to say without going into spoilers. They did really good with the Prowler's arc in this game. Really loved his arc. Craven was really good. I was kind of worried that they weren't going to make him, like, cool. I was kind of worried that he was just... Like, I was worried that he was going to be, like, a PG version of Craven, where it's like, oh, well, he's cool, but, like, we gotta, like, make it, like... But I'm very happy with, how they did his story. The boss fights were really good in this game. I very much, you know, they added some new stuff to the game that I really enjoyed. They added pairing to this game, which I really thought was very good, in my opinion. A lot of people have kind of talked bad about the web wings, but I like them because, you know, to me they're optional. Like, you don't have, like, the only time they're not really optional is when you're doing, like, chase scenes. And even then, if you have your, like, swing assist turned off, you still are... I mean, I have my assist turned off, and I swing pretty fast. You know, like I said, Harry and MJ had good stories. MJ had her own stuff going on. Peter did really good. I'm trying to avoid talking too much about Peter because there's not much I can say about Peter without going into spoilers. There's very few things I didn't like about this game that, like, I don't think they're gonna add in. I don't like some of my only complaints is some of the cool gadgets from the last two games aren't in this one. Some of the trailers kind of made it seem like you would have an ability wheel and a gadget wheel, which I mean you do, but like I was kind of hoping you would get to like choose gadgets. Like, oh, okay, well, you know, Peter has like 8 gadgets from like the first game, and Miles had like 4, and you know, I thought that maybe they were gonna have unique gadgets and that they would have some like shared ones. I really like that like they do seem to share gadgets and this, like that they like overall seem to share a lot of stuff with one another, which is cool because I was kind of worried that like certain gadgets would only be playable for one person, or because like in the first or in Miles's game he got the Prowler like mines or whatever. So I thought like he was only gonna have those, which they didn't show up at all. But I like that like what is here in the game for both guys like is kind of like shared by both of them instead of just so the other thing that the last thing I'm gonna say before I if I will say that if you're just gonna rush through the story, I did a mixture of side quests and other things while they have like other activities and stuff you can do, and I did a majority of, I would do like a story mission and then I'd be like the side quests in this game are so good that like I actually at times wanted to play those. Like it didn't, there weren't very many side quests. Like there was like only like 2 in this whole game where I was like, I'd rather be doing something else. The puzzles compared to the first game were really good. I actually liked them. They kind of seem to listen and like take down the frequency of them. The boss fights were enjoyable. The combat's enjoyable. The only time pairing really seems like a necessity for me is during boss fights. As you can see, like I'm playing against these symbiotes right now and I don't have to parry unless I want to. But so I don't know if how long it's gonna take for the next one. I don't know if there's DLC. The game just came out. I'm really happy with how they did this, but I understand that I'm not everyone. You know, so the one thing I will say, I enjoyed story. I enjoyed the last thing I will say, which is a little bit spoilery, but before I open into like full spoiler talk, is the suits. So if you don't want to look at suits, you know, probably skip like 3 minutes ahead. Well, actually, no. I think at this point, I'm just going to go into spoilers for the game. So I guess I'll leave it at, should you buy them if you want to? Yeah. You know, if you're looking for something you can invest a serious amount of time on, if you enjoyed the first one or Miles Morales, then you should definitely get this. I feel like the only thing, like, because I know they're going to add New Game Plus. They've already said that it's already a confirmed factor. So pretty much the only three things I should say that like I don't like is there's no in the last two games when you had like if you had podcast, you would be like, oh, okay, well, I'm in the middle of a crime, I'll go back and listen to that. You can't do that in this game. You can't change the time of day. And then the gadgets. Those are really... Well, and then I guess the only other thing I would say is... But it doesn't... Really, the only thing that, like, I don't like as of right now that, like, I kind of affects it for me is New Game Plus. There's certain suits in the game that take forever to unlock, that I'd like to play the story again as. So, to me, that's really the only... like, okay, well that affect, like, but they've already said they're working on it, so let's talk suits. I really like the color variants of suits. I kind of wish, like, movie suits had, like, different colorings. I would have loved to see what they did with, like, Peter's Iron Spider suit. I'm a little disappointed that some of the suits from the first game did not make it in. Because honestly, I feel like there's a lot of like reliance on movie suits in this game, and I know that like everybody was like pushing for like movie suits, so I'm not complaining. I definitely was pushing for the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. Which I definitely used for a majority of my playthrough. I actually like that they have, like, different versions of their custom suit that they made, like, because, I didn't, at first, when I first saw it, I didn't like some of the little changes they made to the advanced suit, so I was like, okay, I'm definitely gonna rock something else, and then so the symbiote suits I really like. I like that as you progress through the game, the design changes a bit. Like, it starts from this to this, and it kind of just seems like a good way to show where Peter's at with letting the suit... Like, my interpretation was saying how much he's letting the suit take hold of him. Because when he's wearing this, it's still kind of chill, but once it changes to this, you can definitely tell the suit has a hold of him. I didn't really like the pre-order or deluxe edition suits. None of them really... I didn't really touch any of them. I like that there's a comic book variation of the black suit. I do kind of wish the webbed black suit from the Raimi movies had symbiote abilities, because, like, when you select, like, one of the black suit, whether it's the comic book or the ones from the... whether you select the ones you unlock throughout the game or like the just default symbiote suit, I like that you like are swinging with like a black web, and that you like are actually like shooting black webs. Like, I like that. another little thing that I kind of don't like about, like, with just Peter's stuff is I don't like that once you beat the game, all your symbiote abilities turn white. Like, for example, like they showed the rage mode. Well, once you get to a certain part in the story, it's like your symbiote abilities turn white instead of like, and I think that that's probably something they'll address because like, I also don't like that, like, regardless of what suit you're wearing, I could be wearing Tobey Maguire's or Tom Holland's suit, and regardless of what I'm wearing, it'll just default, like, switch it to the the anti-venom suit, which I kind of just, I mean, I like the suit, but I wish that I still had the freedom. I really like for suits that like you unlock by doing little things throughout the game. I really like Miles's Mysterio suits. I like a lot of people don't seem to like his suit that you unlock in the game. This one, I don't like the default one. I kind of like the white and red one or the white and blue one. Just personal opinion. I will say I don't really use that suit very much. I've really been rocking with the I use the classic suit with the red tint as my main suit for Miles. Yeah, I don't think that I can avoid talking about the story any longer. And I gotta make this quick because I know this is already kind of a long video, but first off, so I guess I should say, if you're wanting to avoid spoilers, I would click off now. I'm really happy with what they've done with this game. I would have liked if Peter would have kept the black suit longer, but that's just my opinion. They did very well in showing how it affected him, and I really liked that. I really like that. I really like that they made it compelling. That like he's addicted to it, because that's something that like they only really imply, I'm going off of like movie and like video game. I haven't played Web of Shadows. Like, I bought a copy of it, and then it turned out to be like the French version, so I couldn't even play it. So I haven't played that, but you know, and I've read comics, but like, you know, I have friends who like I nerd out and talk about like, oh well, in this comic, blah 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 blah, or in Amazing Spider-Man number blah blah blah. And they don't understand. So I like that they did a really good job to show like Peter being addicted to the suit, where he's like, oh, it makes me a better spider. Like, so his arc is so good, because I truly felt like he starts out and, you know, he's being like the Peter Parker we know and love, like, and then like, and then he gets the suit and the black suit, and they did a very good job with how they portrayed that, because I seriously enjoyed every second of that. Like, even if the side missions weren't enjoyable, which to me they were, I still would have played them just to wear the black suit a bit longer, because they seriously were like so enjoyable, and I just wanted to keep the suit a bit longer. One thing that I saw somebody on Reddit say that I actually kind of agree with is they kind of did a good job of making you feel addicted to the suit. Because throughout the story, and I'll switch to Miles here in a second, like, Miles kind of unlocks abilities throughout the story, and Peter, like, gets a bunch of, like, iron arm abilities, but, like, they're kind of slow burn compared to when he has the symbiote. He has, like, 8 symbiote abilities and then, like, 4 iron arms. I kind of wish they would have explained a bit more about the iron arms. Like, obviously, we can interpret, like, he, like, from the... that he copied Otto Octavius's design, or like improved them, or whatever it is. So I don't have a complaint there, but I kind of wish there was a bit of an explanation.
I can't thank you enough.
But I really think that they kind of did a good job making you feel like you weren't as whole without the suit for a bit. And then you get, like, more of the iron arm abilities, and then it kind of evens back out. If you noticed, well, actually, I'll talk about Miles first. A lot of people complained about Miles in this, and they're like, well, he didn't do as much. And I'm like, first off, he's still in high school, so it kind of makes more sense. Like, Miles can't be, like, Miles is still attending school. Like, some of his side quests are like him doing, like, college fairs and stuff like that. So it kind of makes sense for Peter to be doing more, because Peter doesn't have a job, or you know, he doesn't have as much going on as Miles does. So it makes sense for him to be having less to do. So sorry, I wasn't paying attention for a second. But I really liked, first off, like I mentioned, his mom. I like that his mom has embraced he's Spider-Man. Like, they kind of, in a bit, made me think, like, maybe, like she's like, it's best I don't know, once or twice, but, like, you know, she tells him of crimes going on in the neighborhood and how he can help. I love that, because it really shows that she accepts that, like, he's Spider-Man. I like that the Prowler also accepts that he's Spider-Man and, like, retires, like, you know, like, in the Miles game, and he's like, you know, I gave up being the Prowler for family, but by then the dad's already dead, and at the time, Miles' mom wants nothing to do with him. And in this game, when you complete all the Prowler missions, you find out that the mom and him are working together to do something for the better of Miles. Like, she's helping him co-sign for stuff, and he trusts Miles so much he gives up being the Prowler for, like, he tells Miles where all of his stashes are. So, but, you know, Miles also is dealing with the morality of, like, he wants Martin Lee stopped, and at first, they kind of show, like, he's willing to do whatever it takes to do that, and a couple times, like, I thought maybe they were gonna have him like kill Martin Lee, and they did really good. The boss fight there was really good. I will say they did really good with redeeming Martin Lee. And then Miles saves Peter, and to me that was so impactful because, you know, like, I had hoped that they would have Miles and Peter face off. I'm very happy with how they did too, like, so I'm happy with that. I'm not a type of person who's gonna like go through the whole spoiler story. Like, I'm not gonna like, oh, Act 1, this happens. You find out at one point that Sandman only acts up at the beginning of the story because of Kraven. He thought they kidnapped his daughter. So he's worried. I get it. So they actually did really good with the villains in this story. The villains that died, they made you actually like care about. I actually at one point was anxious for Tombstone because they show he's like working at the carnival, and he actually seems to be having like obviously like it's work, so he's not having like time of his life, but he actually seems like he's like okay and like doing fun, like, you know, at least like enjoying that he's not doing crime. And then like they go after him, and luckily he's okay. They did that multiple times, and a theme that I really liked that they showed in this game is second chances. There's so many. If I had to pick like one theme in this, it's second chances, because there's so many times where it's either the theme or it's talked about. You know, Lee gets a second chance. Tombstone gets one. So, you know, Peter gets one because, you know, when he has the symbiote, he's an asshole to the people in his life, and, you know, there's so many, like, Mysterio gets one, like, a theme of second chance. So let's talk about Venom, because he's the I don't feel like I can talk about him without it being spoiler. You know, obviously we knew he's in the game, but like there were people who were like making lists of like theories on people. I know people who thought that Otto Octavius was gonna be Venom because of the whole neurological disorder thing. There are people who thought it was going to be Norman. I know somebody who thought it was going to be Kurt Connors, which I personally, if it wasn't Harry, they said it wasn't going to be Eddie Brock. The only one that I really thought it could have been was Kurt Connors, because Otto's in jail. So I don't know how else they're gonna, you know, give him the symbiote. Yeah, they had the breakout, but they had the mass prison breakout in the first game. So I didn't think they would. I didn't think they would do that this game. I was wrong about some of my theories. I kind of like, obviously we knew Harry starts out with the symbiote, I didn't really care who Venom was. I was just excited. I'm very big on I trust, like, when it comes to companies and games, like, I once you've given me a reason to trust you, like Insomniac Games, like, I have like unending trust with them. Even if something looks like it's not going to be promising, they have proven, me wrong. I know people who were a little upset that when it became obvious that Kraven wasn't the end-all be-all of this game. And I think that they were proven wrong because the game is so phenomenal. Sorry, was blowing my nose there. Yeah, they did a very good job of making the story compelling. They did very good with making you care about Venom, and it's easily understandable. I think it's very cool how they did Venom. Another thing that I like is they, like, in other interpretations of Venom, like, it's implied that he prefers Peter over whoever's the host. But in this one, it's mentioned multiple times, like, you're the reason we got separated. Like, where you can tell that, like, he prefers Peter over Harry, like, which is another big part of the comics that I've always loved, is he prefers Peter over whoever his host is. So, Carnage is going to be in the next game. There's a side quest where he... I personally believe Venom is not dead, because they show that Peter still has a little bit of symbiote inside of him for how long he had it, and Harry definitely had it longer. So he definitely still has a piece of it inside him. So I think that it's gonna come out somehow, and that's when we're gonna get Eddie Brock with it. They're talking about doing a Venom game with it. I'd be okay with that. I like that this version of Venom has been, like, just mash dropping spawns. Like, Harry turns Mary Jane into Scream. I loved that boss fight because, like, occasionally there's, like, a comic book run where Mary Jane's, like, a superhero, and I didn't want her to be a full-blown, like, has powers in this universe, but I think they did a very good job of showing how, in some ways, Peter neglects Mary Jane for the safety of the city. That's a very important part of their relationship, as she always kind of comes second to the betterment of the city, and Mary Jane says she understands, but so last thing I want to talk about is Kraven. Now that I can talk, spoiler, like, I know I kind of skipped Venom a bit, like, I got to talk about both of them, and because, in my opinion, the only way that I thought personally at the beginning of the game, and the trailers, I thought Peter was with the symbiote was going to kill Kraven, and that I thought that his killing of Kraven would have, like, because the symbiotes learned from the host, I thought that he was going, like, that was how Venom was going to get his murderous spree, which I was kind of right. Because if Miles wouldn't have showed up when he did, Peter definitely would have killed Kraven. I like that they gave Kraven a reason to want to hunt in New York. They killed a bunch of villains for him. I kind of hate that only one of them shown on screen. He killed Vulture. He killed Vulture, Shocker, Electro, and Scorpion. So I think that they did a very good job. I will say the only one, like, that I really kind of feel like I was like, oh, okay, like, that's cool, was Scorpion, because they, like, showed it on screen. You know, we don't really know much about these villains. Like, they have character bios in the first game, but they don't have them here. We knew Vulture had cancer. We knew that Shocker was the one who gave him the best fight, because in the audio logs, that's what Kraven says. I like that, you know, that we get to control Venom when we take him out. I was worried it was just going to be a cutscene. And the last thing I'm going to leave people with is, because I saw somebody asking this on Reddit, and do you think Kraven technically won? And I will say yes. I'm going to compare it to The Dark Knight, actually, where physically they didn't win. Like the Joker did not physically win in that. But they caused the crack in the foundation that caused the hero to technically lose. Because everything that has happened in this game, Kraven was responsible for. For example, Kraven comes to New York and causes the reason for Peter to get the symbiote, for Harry to lose the symbiote, for Peter to get the aggressiveness of what he did, killed a bunch of supervillains, is going to cause, you know, in the post-credit scene, we see that Norman's gonna get the Goblin Serum. So he's gonna cause the, like, ultimate, like, Battle of New York. You know, he unleashed a murderous psychopath in Venom for a while, so... And yeah, again, in both stories, the hero ultimately wins, but it's at what cost? You know, we don't... In my opinion, he's gonna wake up again, but we don't know if Harry's gonna wake up or not, you know? So, the former mayor's son is pretty much paralyzed. And he's paralyzed, or not paralyzed, he's, like, severely weakened and pretty much almost brain dead. And like I said earlier, Cletus Cassidy now has a symbiote. So, so very clearly, he wins, and the response and the thought of what he's done has caused so much chaos, and the fallout is going to mean he technically wins, like it or not. I really don't know what else I can talk about in this. If you like this video, subscribe, like it. I didn't show a lot of gameplay because I didn't show a lot of like cutscenes and like spoiler stuff because I wanted people who haven't played, or I have a few friends of mine who wanted to see gameplay but not like story gameplay. And if I was to play a game like this, I would want to see like gameplay but not story gameplay. I definitely think there's a few things they need to adjust, but this game is almost perfect. And I used to play the first one just to swing around and have fun. I platinumed this game yesterday, and I seriously all day have just been swinging around, enjoying myself, switching between the two heroes. So I think they're going to add more suits. I think there's so many things that they're going to perfect with this. So if you want my review, I'm going to give it 8.5 out of 10. The only reason I am giving it that low is there's a few glitches, which again, that's normal for a game. There's some bugs, some glitches, some things that they removed from the first two games that until they add. I guess I'll give it a 9 out of 10 actually, because there's just a few things they need to make this almost perfect. They need to add podcast replay back. They need to add character bios back. New Game Plus. I'd like it if they added the suits from the first game, but it's not really a deal breaker. And mission replay. Those all four would make it like a perfect game for me. The story's good. Seriously, the music's good. Seriously, I think it's a perfect game, almost. And if this is what I have to play for another 3 to 5 years while they make another game, I'm cool with it. There is one last thing that I didn't mention while talking about the character arcs. I know, I kind of mentioned, like, Miles had some cool stuff he did, but it wasn't, like, as cool as Peter's. I know that Peter says that he's, like, passing the baton to Miles. I think that it's, like, a temporary thing. Some people chose to look at it as Peter's hanging up the suit for good. That's not how I see it. I see it as he wants to honor Harry, so he is going to put more focus into the Foundation, but he's still going to take little, like, breaks as Spider-Man, but he's still going to be there for Spider-Man 3. I think they'll probably make like another Miles game, hopefully longer this time, that way. But I think that I don't think that Miles taking over is like a goodbye to Peter. I just think that it's a break for Peter. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the game. It's a little bit long. I'm recording this from my PlayStation, so I'm not going to be leaving timestamps or anything as of now. This is Darth Joker. This is my first review. So if you have constructive feedback, like, don't be an asshole. But yeah, so this is my review on Spider-Man 2. Thanks for watching. All right, bye.